This is the Viper Mark III by Faulcon Delacy, their lowest cost combat focused vessel. It is a mainstay of system security forces everywhere and a true classic in design. Famed for its straight line speed, indeed it is capable of the fastest boost speed in the galaxy. The ship is extremely basic in its construction, not much more than some engines, hardpoints and a pilot's seat. The low cost of manufacture is evident everywhere, with an interior that is perhaps as basic as can be for a spacecraft, though it does offer a workable degree of visibility. The Viper loses much of its famed performance when outfitted for AX, but it is still very lively with performance-enhanced thrusters fitted. These do eat into the very meagre power available quite considerably. The Viper has two small hardpoints either side of the canopy and two medium underneath. Convergence is very good, but the Viper lacks the power and distributor size to really take advantage of all hardpoints. Heat is a big issue in the Viper 2, one that results in a very limited damage output when used for AX combat. As with all small ships, the level of protection the Viper offers is extremely compromised, and the power issues mean that even Guardian module reinforcements have to be sacrificed for regular module reinforcements. The ship also only features 2 utility slots, and so heatsink supply is very low. The ship is incredibly affordable though, and so perhaps can find its own niche destroying the lower tier interceptors. We begin with the Cyclops, and in this particular instance, we face 2 of them. The Viper's boost speed is, if anything, too lively for boost orbiting. While the Viper has great vertical and lateral thrusters, the boost is so energetic that adding directional thrust during does not have enough effect to keep the orbit controllable. So regular orbiting works best, with the ship speed carefully managed to stay in the optimal zone. The Viper suffers a heavy penalty when outside of the optimal throttle zone, and so counterintuitively for such a fast ship, orbits are best kept to a relatively slow speed. The Viper's small distributor does not allow for a lot of gauss to be fired together. Too small can work, but not too medium. This means splitting them into very low damage trigger groups. Not a problem for Cyclops, but certainly something to worry about with the tougher Thargoids. The Viper can very ably handle Cyclops. The manoeuvring allows good repositioning, while a low number of heatsinks does not become a factor in attacking runs. Let's see how the Basilisk changes things up. If you come in too fast for reliable aiming and need to reposition, boosting very wide works best. This allows you to get speed and vector of your orbit under control as you close in the range before you resume an attack. The Viper in an AX loadout is still faster than the Basilisk, but only just. This means flybys to gain range can occur quite often. The Viper does not have the best silent running duration, so this needs to be carefully managed. Overall though, the Viper is capable of comfortably engaging Basilisk. The Medusa is where the shortcomings of the Viper begin to come into play. The lower DPS and low number of heatsinks can already make the first heart very tight, and the Medusa's increased damage output makes incoming fire extremely dangerous. What's more, it's like the Medusa knows it can bully this particular ship and will have no problem finding a spot to park right in your face while it laughs off your Gauss fire. The slow speed of the orbit needed to maintain good aiming mobility does not help. But with concentration and careful vector control, you can push past these limitations and inflict the damage necessary. Again, the boost is so lively and responsive that aiming far wide when repositioning works much better than trying to stay tight. While not on attacking runs and able to make full use of the Viper's speed, positioning for the swarm is very easy, and slowly but surely you can chip away at the Medusa and come away with a victory. The Medusa marks the ceiling of what you could consider a reliably defeatable target, and even then requires a pretty mistake-free performance to overcome. Against the Hydra, the Viper has several massive shortcomings that together make the fight not impossible, but impractical for sure. The Viper cannot in any configuration fire 2 medium Gauss together, or 1 medium and small Gauss together. This means that it is limited to an extremely low damage output. Couple that with only 2 heatsink launchers, and you have a situation where heatsinks must be refilled several times over mid-attack run. With such a low damage output, the Hydra's considerable hull regeneration will be difficult to overcome before running out of ammo, and any break in fire will allow yet more hull to regenerate. It should certainly be possible to carry out this kill, but in practical terms, you would be far better served by using another ship. If you can down a few Basilisk or Medusa with the Viper, you can afford a far more suitable ship anyway. All in all, the Viper is a fun and workable AX vessel for its size, and against the lower tier interceptors can offer practical levels of utility. Against the tougher Thargoids though, its limitations make it difficult to use when fighting alone. In a way, I can see a lot of these problems being solvable, and the Viper is no more limited than most small ships really. Though if you are looking for a small ship for AX combat, the Diamondback Scout will always be the best choice, in my opinion.